Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Unit 9, Lesson 2, and we just have some terminology to address today. You have a word bank. This is on the second page of your notes. Page 2, they're actually numbered this time. On the second page of your notes, you have a word bank in the upper right-hand corner there, and there's 5 descriptions, and we want to try to match the words to the descriptions. So the first description is watered down. There's a large amount of solvent, like water, and very little solute, like Kool-Aid. So if you had a lot of water in your Kool-Aid, you might call it this. Okay, so go ahead and pick which word you think belongs there, and then I'll give you the answers at the end. The second term indicates a little amount of solvent. So there's not a lot of water, but there's a lot of solute. So imagine a lot of Kool-Aid, a lot of sugar, and very little water. I always say, think of the small cans of juice concentrate. What would you call that term? The third one is a solution that contains as much dissolved solute as possible at a given temperature. If you add another crystal of your solute, it will not dissolve, it'll just drop to the bottom of the container. The fourth one, a solution that holds less solute than it can. So it hasn't dissolved as much as possible. If you add another crystal of your solute, then that crystal will dissolve. And the final one, number 5, is a solution that holds more solute than it possibly can in a saturated sample. These solutions are very unstable, and if you add a crystal, it will cause all the extra that you had dissolved in there that you weren't supposed to have dissolved to precipitate out, to fall out of solution. Okay? So think about those for a minute. Maybe pause the video, and when you come back, we'll complete the terms. Watered down. If you had a lot of water and not a lot of Kool-Aid, you would probably call that drink very dilute. Okay? If you had a lot of Kool-Aid, like maybe too much sugar, and you drank it, you're like, whoo, that's pretty concentrated, right? Concentrated is when you have a lot of solute and not a lot of solvent, okay? It's a concentrated beverage. If you've dissolved as much as you possibly could of your solute, we call that solution saturated, and any more will just precipitate or fall out to the bottom that you add. One where you can actually dissolve more is called unsaturated. And if you've dissolved more than you actually can, and I'm going to show you a demonstration with this tomorrow in class, you've dissolved more than you possibly can, it's a very unstable solution, you add another crystal and that will cause all the extra to precipitate out, we say that that solution is supersaturated. It's dissolved more solute than is possible at that given temperature. Okay? So those are some terminology, or those are some words that we're going to be using in this unit, and I just want to make sure that you've got those words taken care of. There are some other words on page 3 that I want to deal with. Oop. Maybe. There we go. These are factors that affect solubility. Solubility is the amount of solute that you can dissolve in a solvent at a particular temperature. If something is soluble, that means it dissolves well and has a high solubility. If something's insoluble, that means it dissolves poorly and has a low or no solubility. It doesn't dissolve well. So you've used those terms in your lab today, and I just wanted to make sure that we had those down in our notes. We'll talk more tomorrow in our video about the factors that affect whether or not something's going to dissolve. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.